Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to be making a very simple 3-ingredient meal that you can make really quickly and it'll feed the whole family. I call it beef rice. You need beef rice. I used to use the Knorr's beef rice, which was the best. They discontinued it for some reason. I wrote them a letter, but they're not bringing it back anytime soon. So you're going to use this beef rice. The other ones are instant rice. I wouldn't recommend that. It just doesn't have the same flavor. You're going to need a pound or so of hamburger meat. This is probably about a pound and a half. You're going to need some onions, or I use a seasoning blend. You're going to need some cheese for the top. You can use whatever cheeses you like. I've got yellow and white American here. You're going to season with salt, pepper. I could do the crazy mixed up salts. You don't have to do that. And the garlic powder. I'm going to get all this put in the pan, and then I will go to the next step. Okay, so as usual, I don't really normally measure out stuff. I've been cooking for a long time, so I just throw it in there. If you don't use the seasoning blend, you could use probably one small onion would do it. Again, a pound and a half of meat, it just really, up to you. Now, as far as the seasonings, you're going to just, like I always do, just kind of sprinkle over the top till you get all the meat covered. That just seems to be the best way to season to me. If you want to measure it out, honestly, I couldn't even tell you if it's a teaspoon, a tablespoon. I just usually just kind of sprinkle over the top like that. And honestly, that usually is the right amount. If it may sometimes need a little bit more salt. Clue here. If you do make it and it is too salty, you can add like a teaspoon of sugar and retaste it. The sugar will pull out that too much salty taste. Okay, so I'm going to get this meat browned. And once you get this brown, or while this is browning, you're going to cook the beef rice. Now, you're going to cook this as directed. There's nothing special about this. Again, I used to like the Knorr's rice because it was just so simple. You put it in there, you added your water and your butter, and you were good. This one, you have to fry the noodles a little bit, the vermicelli noodles. I don't know why, but anyway, I'm going to get that done, and then I'll get it all put together, and we'll go. Just real quick again, this calls for 2 tablespoons of butter, and you take the butter and the mix here, and you're going to fry this. What you're trying to do is this vermicelli in here, these little noodles, you're going to try to brown them. And once they're brown, then that's when you add your it's when you add your water and your seasoning packet. So just want to kind of go over that real quick. Okay, so as you can see, the vermicelli, most of it is golden brown. I'm always worried about burning it, so I wouldn't say you have to wait until every single one is brown. I would say probably about like this. Once that process is done, you're going to add your seasoning mix and 2.5 cups of water. Okay, you're going to stir that in, and then you're going to cover it, and then you're going to let that simmer or cook on medium for, I think it said, about 15 minutes. So I'm going to put this back on the fire, and I'm going to start. My meat is browned over there, and the vegetables are clear, so I'm just kind of let that on low. Now I'm going to make what I always refer to as school corn. If you remember your school corn when you were young, it was always the best corn. So you have to start with the good corn. I have found that. So I have went with the Del Monte's. And all you do is you're going to add just a little bit of salt. And I mean, I'm talking about just a little bit of salt. Okay. And then you're going to add pepper. Yep, that's the key ingredient, pepper. Add your good bit of pepper here. And then, I didn't grab my butter. So, and you're going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter in here. You just stir this up, and you're going to let this cook on medium-low until all the butter's melted and it's nice and is gotten a little bit softer. But yeah, so the key to school corn is making sure you have enough pepper, because the pepper always seems to make it taste that much better. So I'm going to get this all wrapped up, and then I'll be back once it's all done. Okay, so the rice is done. As you can see, the rice is all puffed up and everything looks good and cooked. So you're just going to take that and you're going to pour it all into their beef here. You're going to stir that up. I'm going to get this all stirred up, and I will put the cheese. I will taste it, of course, make sure it doesn't need anything. Add the cheese, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got it all stirred up and mixed up. I did have to add a little bit more salt But as you can see, you got your beef and your rice all mixed in real good. This was a good pack of meat. It was a good chuck, so I didn't really have to drain it. But if you've got a lot of grease, I would suggest draining it. Now, I use American cheese. I got the white and the yellow. You can use different cheeses. I wouldn't recommend like a sharp cheddar or anything because that's going to change the whole flavor. And you want the cheese to kind of just amplify or make it, the beef rice have a little bit more sweetness to it. And a little cheesy, but you don't want it to overpower. So I wouldn't recommend like a sharp, but any other kind of cheese, you'd probably be fine. I just use American because that's the way I've always made it. And then, of course, you've got your corn here. It's got lots of pepper in it. So once you get it to this point, you're going to cover it, and you're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. Just let it rest. You're going to turn it off and let it rest for about 5 minutes. I'm going to plate this up in a few minutes, and then I'll show you what it's like. I started this at 3:05. It is 3:40. So getting this whole meal done, from browning the meat, the rice, the corn, everything done, you're looking at 35 minutes, and you can have a full meal for your family. The meat, I got the hamburger meat on sale for around $5 a pound. The rice was on sale $1.25, and then the corn was like $1.50, $2, something like that. So around $10, $10 to $12, depending on if you get meat on sale. And you can have a meal. This will feed probably 5 people, depending on your appetites. So again, you're talking three ingredients, really. Can of corn, and under $12, and you can feed a family of 4, 5, even 6 if you have younger kids. So I'm going to get this plated up. Give me a sec, and I'll be right back. Okay, and here you go with the final product. You've got your beef rice with some cheese on it. I put some of the white and the yellow American in my plate. You can see it melts real good. I've got my corn. You can make you some garlic bread with it or just eat it just like this. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. If not, enjoy, y'all.